Good day. It is my pleasure to welcome you to Syndicate 9 group presentation. My name is Zukiswa Makunga, and I am accompanied by my fellow team members, Blanche Low, Bongani Khadeb, Khulani Ngomane, Muraro Nengobela, Sandile Stole, Shepherd Chauke, Stembiso Ngubeni, Tebuho Mlambo, Velapimo Sebele, and Zandile Mpanza. Today we would like to present to you solutions that have been proposed to Blind SA to mitigate some of the challenges that they continue to encounter while in pursuit of promoting and facilitating the dignity and the independence of blind and visually impaired South Africans. Blind SA is not immune to the challenges that are faced by other state-owned enterprises. However, Blind SA has its own unique challenges that are as a result of the uniqueness of the community that they are advocating for. Coming up next, my colleagues will present each problem and the possible digital solutions that can be implemented as mitigation measures.
So now we're going to look at challenges faced by the visually impaired as well as potential solutions. Firstly, we look at published literature. So here we looked at the conversion of existing literature to Braille to address the much need of economic empowerment among young people. Here literature will be converted from conventional analog to digital, where users will be able to make use of screen reading software. Next, we look at the challenge of education and training in the curriculum for the visually impaired. Here we will look at solutions such as providing accessibility of Braille textbooks, facilities and curriculum for the blind as well as visually impaired. Next up, we look at the use of smartphones within the space of education and training. With the world's growing trend in smartphone usage, it is only natural for Blind SA to tap into the space as a conduit for people to gain meaningful employment as well as using these smart devices in the space of education and training. Then next we look at the gap in reaching parents and caregivers. As we know, strides are being made in the provision of smart devices for the visually impaired, which leaves parents and caregivers behind. So here we will take a particular look at the use of chatbots, where we will make use of natural language processing as a way to bridge the gap in understanding between caregivers and children.
In order to solve the challenge of access to literature, Blind SA will focus on the following methods. Conversion of existing literature to Braille, which is not only limited to textbooks, but all study material, including additional academic notes that the blind and visually impaired may not be able to access. This will be achieved by using Braille embossers that will allow students to print Braille versions of the academic content at any given time. Conversion of conventional analog literature to digital. This will be implemented by supplying electronic Braille note takers that either have a standard keyboard or a Braille keyboard that will allow students to take notes and save them on a cloud that they can have access to as and when required. Screen readers. Blind SA will introduce screen readers that will enable the blind and visually impaired to use computers effectively. This will be achieved by introducing software that reads text on a computer screen and converting it into audio using a synthesized voice. Users will have the ability to adjust the volume, pitch, and rate of speech from a preference menu.
To deal with the availability and accessibility of the school textbooks and the curriculum, Blind SA will make audio recordings of the textbooks, and the audio will be digitally recorded using blockchain. The digital library will be established using cloud computing, and the voice search assistance will be used for ease navigation of the library. Collaboration with the Department of Education will be needed to translate all the different levels of CAPS workbooks available to the public schools into Braille workbooks, and RPA will be used on repetitive work in this process.
Education and training for smartphones. When it comes to blind SA, we focus our attention on the smartphone technology ecosystem that will be needed to support the blind SA solution. First and foremost, we focus on the platform enablers. These are the smartphone technology itself, app developers, cloud computing, big data analytics, among others. We also understand that very important and fundamental to this is the privacy of the beneficiaries, their ability to use assistive technology, understand international news, be able to partake in online learning, configure the administration of humanoids, and be able to print Braille for them to be able to assist their families. Secondary to this is the access to health developments, access to online shopping, access to personal grooming services, access to environmental awareness, access to digital banking, and blockchain technologies.
In this slide, I look at assistive technology. One of Blind SA's key services is to empower the blind and partially sighted to gain meaningful employment and be partakers of the economy. Blind people are often faced with the challenge of using public transport to work. For one, the bus or train number is not visible for them to determine if they are boarding the correct transport. Now, to solve this, our team proposes a curriculum that is intensive on training the community on smart device use. With an exponential growth in smartphone usage, prices for smartphones have plummeted, making it one of the cheaper solutions to use. Added to that, most smartphones come with built-in accessibility features to make access to technology easier for everyone, including the blind people. Accessibility means an app or mobile site can be used by someone who is blind that uses software that reads websites and apps out loud. We refer to this software as assistive technology. Assistive technology closes the gap between a person's abilities and the data that they want to access. For example, iPhone uses an assistive technology called VoiceOver. With VoiceOver activated, the phone screen is read out to the user and thus enabling them to navigate within and between applications. Android uses a similar feature called TalkBack. Both these softwares are using natural language processing tasks, which is a technology in artificial intelligence, to understand human speech, read text, and interpret audio. Now, taking you back to our bus example, VoiceOver working together with a bus services app or train services app would notify the user about an approaching bus with the bus number and the destination. This is such a win for the blind community and would further foster independence.
One of the problems that Blind SA faces is that it struggles to consistently reach parents and schools. The problem was exacerbated during the COVID-19 pandemic, and this resulted in several blind children falling behind with their schoolwork. The proposed solution is Pontsho the Chatbot. Pontsho is a Setswana word for vision. The chatbot will be accessible via web and application, with the aim of teaching and supporting parents raising blind children, as well as the schools for the blind. The funding for this technology will be sourced from the Department of Education. The services of an IT technician will be outsourced for the maintenance as well as the updating of the chatbot. The introduction of the chatbot introduces the risk of cybercrime, and the service provider responsible for servicing the chatbot will also be responsible for the cybersecurity. The technologies that are involved in the solution are IoT, big data, and AI, and the data will be stored in a SQL database which is hosted on a cloud platform. The benefit of the chatbot are that it will assist in bringing parents and schools closer to the organization, giving them guidance and support to ensure that blind children get a holistic support structure to suit their needs. This means that Blind SA will have a greater reach, and the data generated will also assist Blind SA to better understand the people it's servicing. The chatbot will be an extension of Blind SA's website. Parents and schools will be able to get information through articles and by engaging the chatbot via text or speech, as it will have natural language processing. Any person using the chatbot will be able to ask any questions that can assist them to better understand the blind and to be in a better position to assist the blind. The chatbot will also send weekly parenting tips as well as a monthly Blind SA newsletter to keep parents and schools engaged.
Good day. My name is Zandile Mpanza. I'm going to highlight a few activities which Blind SA could consider doing in order to be able to implement the proposed technological strategies. Secondly, Blind SA could collaborate with existing benefactors with a specific aim to raise funds to be able to procure resources needed to implement the proposed technological strategies. In addition to voluntary donations received from the public and other organizations in general, Blind SA could come up with a formal fundraising program specifically aimed for this project. Lastly, they can also focus more on securing training and development contracts from various governmental entities to assist them with the implementation of the project. Thank you. I'll now hand you over to my colleague Kanyisa, who will take you through the cost structure of the project.
Hi everyone, I'll be presenting on the cost structure for the Blind SA. The cost structure will be on the four main proposed solutions on the identified challenges for the Blind SA, and the financial projections will be for the year 2022, 23, 24, 25 and the year 2026, and the projections will be in thousands. So basically the chunk of the money will be used on the published literature, because we'll be establishing systems that never existed for Blind SA, so that's where we're going to use lots of money. For the year 2022, we projecting to use 45 million rand for published literature. For curriculum, 25 million rand. Smartphones, 15 million. The chat box to provide support to parents or caregivers, we're going to use 15 million. As you can see, there's a decline from the year 2022 to year 2023, because we'll be maintaining those systems, and you can notice there's an increase in the year 2025, because in that year we're going to review all those systems, and after that it goes down again in 2026 then, because we continue again with the maintenance of the developed systems. Thank you.
Good day, my name is Sandile. I'll be taking you through improvements that Blind SA will realize when they adopt solutions that we came up with to address the four challenges that they shared with us. Artificial intelligence has been identified as a main technology to address the four challenges. We further identified big data and Internet of Things to address gaps in reaching parents and caregivers. We've identified applications or tasks. These have been extensively discussed by my colleagues on earlier slides. We've linked challenges with improvements. Access to literature and curriculum. We'll see improvement in literacy. Access to literature has the potential to see improvement in cyber security, mainly because of the use of blockchain. Smartphones will see improvement in safety, because the blind people will be able to use phones to navigate the areas or the spaces where they operate. We also see them gaining their independence. That is always a challenge. We also believe that the use of chatbots will improve learner, teacher, parent and caregiver support, which is always a challenge for parents who are living with blind kids. That to be the end of my slide. Thank you.
As a syndicate, we have only touched the tip of an iceberg when it comes to solutions that are applicable to addressing issues that plague the visually impaired and blind community in our country. However, we believe that these digital solutions will mitigate against the discrimination that constantly ravages the blind community in South Africa. With the country on the drive to push the fourth industrial revolution, we conclude on the belief that Blind SA will be able to meet its goal of enhancing the lives of the blind in South Africa by using artificial intelligence and digitalization technologies such as big data. In the effort of making education and literature accessible to the blind community, big data will play an important role in Blind SA digitizing thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of books with different volumes and possibly multiple languages. Cybersecurity, on the other hand, will ensure that we will secure copyrights of the authors by making sure that there is no illegal copying and distribution of digital and audiobooks. Blockchain in banking is a solution that my team has elaborated on regarding banking for the blind. Blockchain has proven to be a secure way of keeping records, especially financial and sensitive information. Cloud computing will also remove the risk of data being stored in hard drives and on site. This will alleviate theft and interruption caused by load shedding. So cloud storage will be convenient for use 24/7 and gives access of all digital data conveniently anywhere, anytime. Because there will be repetitive tasks such as scanning, converting, and saving the digital books to the cloud, this function will be automated using RPA. Not only that, but the stored information will be also available automatically so that it can be printed in Braille. One of the breakthroughs for the blind community is the use of natural processing language to assist the blind to gain access to documents, textbooks, and other forms of written literature. So as a syndicate, having elaborated on these, we have no doubt that Blind SA stands a good chance of acquiring funds from the aforementioned donors and sponsors to implement these digital and AI solutions. We thank you for giving us your ear, and we thank you for your time. Goodbye.